Farmers in Australia typically start their day by monitoring the activities of foxes in their farm areas. These animals engage in hunting behavior that is fierce and violent. In this context, the struggle to protect crops and livestock from these threats is equally intense. Foxes, known as one of the most serious pests in the animal kingdom, are not just ordinary predators but also pose a significant risk to agricultural operations. Dealing with foxes requires a deep understanding of their behavior and ecology in order to implement effective management measures aimed at minimizing the damage they can cause to both crops and livestock. In today's video, Nature Farm will explore how Australian farmers are dealing with thousands of invasive foxes in some rural areas. But first, I hope you will take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel to support our efforts and hard work. Without further ado, let's move on to the details. In the field of wildlife management and social security protection, foxes not only represent a potential threat to livestock but also pose a challenge to communities as they invade and occupy residential areas, treating them as their own territory. The issue of foxes roaming into densely populated areas and even entering homes causes chaos and insecurity, especially when they attack residents, such as in the case of a woman who faced the aggression of a fox. This incident not only resulted in physical consequences but also had a profound impact on the victim's psyche, highlighting the danger this species can pose. Dealing with the rising fox population using traps is a crucial strategy in agriculture in Australia. Fox traps are not only highly effective but also designed for easy use and can be reused multiple times, aiming to optimize wildlife management. The size and weight of the fox are important factors to consider when preparing trapping tools, including ropes and bait. Although the process of setting traps is straightforward, it requires a specific strategy and caution, especially in choosing locations to minimize effectiveness. A study by the Australian government has shown that the use of traps has helped reduce the fox population by approximately 30% over the past years, effectively contributing to the protection of the agricultural environment. However, the process of eliminating this invasive species must strictly adhere to ethical and legal regulations to ensure that traps function efficiently without harming non-target animals or humans. Regularly inspecting the traps to ensure they are working properly is essential and is also part of the responsibility that each Australian citizen must undertake in managing and protecting our shared environment. In the context of modern agriculture, biological pest control is extremely important, especially for the livestock industry and crop protection. Specifically, in the agricultural area of New South Wales in the state of Victoria, fox hunting is not only a recreational activity but also an essential measure in managing the fox population. Although foxes are a natural part of the ecosystem in Australia, without effective control, a rapid increase in their numbers can pose a direct threat to the food chain by reducing the number of livestock. This not only impacts agricultural production but also negatively affects the food sources for other predatory species in the ecosystem. Therefore, implementing fox control campaigns is a necessary step to protect food security and maintain ecological balance in key agricultural areas. An unusual increase in the fox population can place significant pressure on local ecosystems and disrupt ecological balance. This surge in fox numbers poses serious challenges for wildlife management agencies, requiring them to implement stringent control measures to protect both the farming community and the surrounding environment. In this context, Australian farmers are faced with the need to adopt innovative and effective fox control strategies. One common method employed by farmers is hunting, which is seen as a quick solution to remove foxes from high-risk areas. Compared to traditional trapping, a passive and often time-consuming intervention, hunting allows farmers to actively track and even locate fox dens. This method not only enhances the ability to control fox populations on a larger scale but also helps farmers quickly address this threat. Additionally, the fox is an omnivorous animal capable of consuming a diverse range of foods, from livestock to crops, making it challenging to prevent their overpopulation. Therefore, controlling fox pests not only requires a deep understanding of their behavior and ecology but also necessitates the continual updating of modern and effective management methods to ensure safety for farms and protect the sustainability of the agricultural environment. Foxes, with their high adaptability and strong predatory instincts, pose a significant threat to prey species ranging from small animals like mice and birds to larger ones like rabbits. However, when given the opportunity, they go further by attacking even adult sheep and cattle, increasing the challenge of managing fox populations in agricultural environments. According to a study conducted in Wales, sheep have been identified as a primary food source for foxes during the summer, leading to stronger management measures by sheep farmers in Australia, especially during the sheep breeding season. To protect livestock and prevent significant economic losses, farm owners often organize fox hunting expeditions, particularly at night when foxes are more active. The hunters are fully equipped and use vehicles to access forest areas where foxes frequently appear. They employ simulated fox calls to lure the animals out of their hiding spots, creating more favorable conditions for hunting. This technique has proven effective not only in reducing the number of foxes in natural environment but also in minimizing the destruction caused by foxes to farms. Flexibility in movement and patience in stalking and remaining concealed are key factors for success in these hunts, especially under night conditions. Although hunting at night presents significant physical and mental challenges, it also offers an effective solution in managing the fox population and reducing damage to livestock activities in Australia. In the agricultural sector, the intrusion of foxes in livestock areas are not only leads to significant losses in the number of animals, sometimes amounting to hundreds of even thousands of individuals, but also raises serious concerns about personal security and the stability of rural communities. However, farmers in Australia have not hesitated to develop and implement unique protective strategies to cope with their challenges. Their activity workday often begins with carefully observing fox traps, typically placed on the roofs of containers they climb onto for a better view of the fox's activities. This persistence is essential for monitoring and preventing the presence of this invasive species, thereby maintaining an unrelenting daily battle to protect the livestock and ensure stability for the community. In the field of agriculture in the United States, particularly in the state of Texas, there is a prolonged and intense conflict between farmers and wild pigs. These merciless wild animals, with an estimated total population of over 9.3 million nationwide, of which more than 5.7 million are found in Texas, are widespread in 99% of the state's 254 countries. Annually, wild pigs cause approximately $1.7 billion in damage to agriculture and the environment. Some of these animals can be extremely large, weighing up to 590 kg. The presence of wild boars has severely impacted the local ecosystem by competing for food with native species. Deer, one of the species most adversely affected, often have to abandon their habitats due to the encroachment of wild boars. These boars use their snouts to dig up the soil, creating large holes and destroying the soil structure as well as damaging crops. According to the Conservation Bureau, a group of 10 wild boars can destroy between 13 to 25 acres, equivalent to 5.3 to 10.1 hectares in a single night. Additionally, wild boars also act as disease vectors, carrying a variety of pathogens and parasites that can harm both humans and livestock. These microorganisms can be expelled onto agricultural land, posing a serious health risk, including diseases transmissible through meat such as swine-related illnesses. Farmers in northern Texas are facing significant damages caused by wild boars, with estimated losses amounting to thousands of US each night. Despite various control measures being implemented, the problem persists due to the high reproductive capabilities and strong adaptability of wild boars, an invasive wildlife species. Wild boars have no significant natural predators, making them a major threat to both the ecosystem and agricultural activities. Furthermore, an individual with the ability to reproduce 2 litters per year, each containing between 5 and 8 offspring, significantly increases the population and the intensity of their invasion. This rate of reproduction is especially high during the winter and spring seasons, particularly in the areas with an abundant supply of rough green fodder, such as agricultural regions or locations providing supplementary feeding for wildlife. In drought years, the exceptional adaptability of wild pigs enables them to expand their habitat in search of food and water, and under conditions of higher than average rainfall, they thrive more robustly, exhibiting higher survival rates, thereby increasing the risk of destroying crops and the food resources of farmers. In the field of agriculture and livestock farming, wild boars are known as omnivorous animals, ready to consume any type of food that they can digest. Favorable conditions allow wild boars to access and consume over 50% of their diet from plant crops, causing severe damage to cultivated areas, particularly under suitable circumstances. They even prey on animals such as sheep and deer. Due to their voracious nature, an adult wild boar can consume up to 3% of its body weight each day within just 4 to 6 hours. The rapid digestion of wild boars is evidence of their uncontrollable appetite. This explains why they can turn a farm into a wasteland in a short period of time. To protect the farm, farmers have prioritized building fences and special materials and designs not only to prevent the intrusion of stray animals but also to obstruct pests like wild boars. However, due to the strength and high destructive ability of these creatures, some ordinary fences may not be strong enough to withstand their intrusion, even during the day. Therefore, farmers need to design and construct durable fencing systems with good resilience to ensure safety for their cultivated areas. The use of sturdy fences to prevent wild pigs is an appropriate solution for small-scale farms, although it can be costly. However, applying this measure on a large scale may not be the most efficient option, requiring careful consideration from the farmers regarding costs and efforts involved. In the field of pest animal management, high-intensity metal fences have become a popular and effective solution for controlling wild boar populations. This system includes a flexible wire gate that allows wild boars to access the bait but prevents them from escaping once inside the trap. To lure them, farmers often use corn as bait. The objective of this method is to capture the entire herd at night, when their vision is at its weakest, thereby maximizing the trapping efficiency. The traps are designed to be sturdy enough to hold the captured individuals until the following morning, when farmers can proceed with their destruction. This can be done by shooting the animals and then allowing their bodies to decompose naturally, or by collecting and transporting them for disposal. This tool not only helps protect rice and soybean fields as they begin to ripen, but it also helps minimize economic damage. According to reports from Texas, the cost of these operations can amount to up to $3 million annually. This also reflects the high demand of farmers to protect their land and agricultural products, especially during months when wild animals are more active, forcing farmers to implement control measures at night. In the fields of agriculture and land management, implementing strategies to control pest outbreaks caused by wildlife is an essential action to protect agricultural production and minimize economic losses. Hunting techniques are employed as a method of managing the population of harmful species, as in the case of wild boar hunting in Texas. These hunts are not only recreational activities but also strategic measures aimed at reducing the damage that wild boars inflict on fields. Using devices like automatic cone feeders helps attract feral pigs to targeted areas where hunters can easily shoot them from a distance. This approach not only enhances the effectiveness of removal but also helps control the reproductive rate of the feral pigs, as they can reproduce quickly and expand their population rapidly if unchecked. Although there may be differing opinions on the humaneness of hunting wild animals, such activities are often seen as a last resort after considering the negative impacts on the economy and community safety. Such control methods aim to minimize damage and protect agricultural resources while maintaining ecological balance. The increase in hunting activities in the area may force wild boars to leave their natural habitat or at least limit their mobility. While hunting with guns is commonly practiced, this method is not very effective. Broken Arrow Farm in Texas has collaborated with hunters to harvest wild boars, sending them to slaughterhouses for processing and packaging. Each year, they provide about 1,500 to 1,700 wild boars. Boars weighing between 80 to 180 lbs are preferred to purchase because large wild boars often produce hormones that cause the meat to have an unpleasant odor. All pigs entering the food chain must undergo mandatory inspection by Food Safety and Inspection Service (FSIS), whether they are raised on farms or come from the wild. Currently, there are 15 facilities in United States that specialize in inspecting wild pigs. In Texas, many chefs, farmers, and meat suppliers have actively incorporated wild pigs into the food chain as a sustainable protein source. At a restaurant in Austin, wild boar has become a standout dish on the menu. However, despite the potential health risks, wild boar meat is not widely favored. Although the increasing consumption of wild boar meat might seem like a negative sign for the wild boar meat industry, it is not necessarily a bad outcome. The growth in this demand could lead to a significant increase in wild boar populations, making the battle against their invasion in Texas even more complicated. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the upcoming videos from Nature Farm. Don't forget to hit like, share this video and press the subscribe button to support our channel.